Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Nation News Touchline Report. My name is Nick Maitland, and joining me this evening is one of our esteemed members of the Nation Sports Desk, Mr. Dwayne Gibbs. Gibbs, you like that shit. So, welcome to the Touchline Report.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course, we've spoken about football on many occasions, international and local.
Yeah.
But for the viewers out there who may not know you in this space, tell them, what qualifies you to speak about football? First of all, who do you support, besides Barbados, of course?
Well, Madridista from 2003, so that's 20 years now of support. But obviously, from working at the Nation Sports Desk, we would have both covered a lot of football.
Indeed.
I had a lot of Premier League responsibilities, so throughout the last season that would have just concluded, I would have covered a lot of those games, and on top of that, some Women's Premier League as well.
Yes.
Especially with the culmination of the Women's League, that unforgettable night between Wales and Paradise Women's.
Yeah.
So so I've been in it for a little bit.
So you're well versed in everything that's been going on.
Well, yeah, plus preparation is always necessary too. So I made sure to prepare some notes here for this evening.
Indeed. Superb, Gibbsy. So we have to speak about the Concacaf Nations League, and unfortunately, Barbados finished their campaign 6 games, 6 defeats. Let's just go back through the timeline.
Yeah.
In September, we had 2 games. We lost at home to Montserrat 3-2. Then we traveled to Nicaragua. We lost 5-1. Then we went to Dominican Republic, a double header of games. 5-0 defeat at home, followed by a 5-2 defeat away. After these games, the Portuguese pair of Orlando da Costa, Ricardo Fernandes, they were bid farewell by the BFA. And of course, interim coach Emerson Boyce took charge for the final 2 fixtures in November. Just concluded. Nicaragua beat us 4-0 at home, and then we traveled to Montserrat and we were defeated 4-2. Only 7 goals scored from us, 26 conceded. It's not been the best of campaigns. Gibbsy, your thoughts on these 6 games?
Yeah, well, from watching back these 6 games, there were certain things that I noticed that were fairly consistent on a negative light throughout the games. I realized except for the game when Thierry would have scored the penalty against DR.
Yes.
We always concede first. And we always concede very early. And I feel like that's not a good position to be in, especially as a team who is now trying to find their footing, find confidence in these kinds of competitions. You don't want to be always down 5 minutes into a game.
Yeah.
In the Montserrat game, once again, we were down early. It's something that I realize is becoming a pattern with Barbados. The next thing I noticed too is that when it comes to set pieces, especially, you see our near post.
Yes.
Our near post is very vulnerable. Donny Romero from Dominican Republic, a hat trick of headers. That's not something you really want.
And it's saying, like, where were your centre backs?
Yeah.
He won the ball in the air 3 times to score.
Yeah. Yeah. So I realize our near post is very vulnerable, and sometimes our defense itself, the back line, sometimes it seems just very, very open. I ain't saying Barbados needs to play with a back 3 at this point in time, but I feel like a more compact defense, almost like a hive mind approach to it, where everybody just moving together, could come in handy as well, because we need to fix things at the back. I find in midfield we do battle well with other teams.
Yes.
We do have the physical presence in the midfield to contend.
And the technical ability as well.
Yes, you can see the technical ability in the midfield. Up front, when Thierry is in his squad, because I guess we should mention that he was not in his squad for the last 2 games under Emerson. So maybe that was a factor as well. But Tajio James came in and he scored off the bench in the dying minutes of the last game. We can't score goals. Our issue is that we sometimes put ourselves in a deficit and then we have to crawl out of a hole. So I think we need to fix some things defensively in terms of shape, and it will help us to have a little more confidence in the games, because it can be very deflating to go down.
Indeed. And I realize when you have a football team, always looking for persons to blame. There's always you always need a scapegoat, and especially in a case like ours, relegation to League C. Let me just list some of the teams who will be playing in League C next year with us: Anguilla, Cayman Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, St. Kitts and Nevis, who are also relegated. These are not big footballing nations, and we will have to do battle with them next year. So back to my same point about the scapegoat. If you had to pick a scapegoat, or somebody who you look at as maybe your performances have not been good and led us to this point. I don't want to call out anybody, but I must say we have not had great representation between the sticks. Goalkeeper Liam Brathwaite, he's played about 14, 15 games for the national side, not a clean sheet. He's been there for some of the biggest defeats we've had, and I just do not think that his goalkeeping inspires confidence in the same back four or even in the team itself. What areas would you pick out, besides going behind early, what areas would you pick out to improve on? Because we're at the bottom, we can't go any further down than League C.
Yeah. The thing is about Brathwaite is that I saw him make some real clinical saves in all these games too. So it could be said that the scoreline could have been worse because I saw him make some amazing saves in all these games. So, as I said before, near post is a very big issue. Remember in the Montserrat game, we started down, fought back, Thierry and
Elijah Downey.
Elijah would have scored first, Thierry scored. So Barbados was ahead. The Bajan crowd was really behind the team and everything. Even I myself started to relax and got my phone and stuff. Then they came back. Once again, look at the goal that they scored. A roly-poly ball across the ground, across the face of the goal, somebody tap it in. I find like the area in front of our goal is just a welcome mat for goals, right? And the free kick from Lyle.
Taylor,
I gotta admit, straight up in the V, that's
the best of keepers wouldn't stop that.
It's box office. But the positioning of the goalkeeper, I found it was a little off because he was just dead center. I understand if you go too much to one side, he might send it the other side. But I felt a little more could have been done in that situation. But then the next thing I want to say to is we have to be very careful about giving away set pieces. The goal that Lyle scored was due to a reckless challenge, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
And I find sometimes we just get a little foolhardy with how we tackle. Studs up,
over exuberant.
Yeah, studs up, all kind of thing. Sometimes we could give away free kicks and stuff like that. Once again, those things can be converted into goals. If not, a direct free kick on bars, you're whipping across and somebody has it in. If you already know Barbados is weak at the near post, try to get a free kick. If you can't hit it directly, if you're in a marksman, if you're a ward pros, try to whip it in and just let somebody nod it past the keeper. So that's a very weak area that we have in our back line as well.
So moving forward then, because a lot was made about the composition of the squad. Coach DaCosta, he opted for some younger members. He gave a lot of debuts as well. But once technical director Boyce came back in, a lot of the old names from before, they returned to the team. Mario Bagger-Williams, Hayden Fatty Holligan, Kishmar Primus, all these guys.
Sugar
Lashley. I had a little issue with Kishmar Primus being taken on this last match day squad and not playing a minute. And most people would agree that he is a better goalkeeper than Brathwaite. But as you said, Brathwaite does hold his own sometimes. So my problem is, and one thing that we have to discuss here, how does the national team look going forward? Because we have League C to play against these teams who, I no disrespect to any of these teams, we should beat all these teams that we play. How should we construct this squad? Youngsters, older players, a mix of the two. How do you see it specifically?
Well, I don't believe in extremes. The mean between two extremes is one of the most productive things you could do. Obviously, you need some elder statesmen in the squad. I like Hallam Hope as a forward. I feel like he brings a lot of energy and pace to the attack. Obviously, when Thierry is available, it would be nice to have him back in the squad again. Niall Reid-Stephen is somebody that when he plays, he is a very, very kinetic, electric player as well. So we have good attacking pieces going forward, but I feel the back is where you really need to have the experience. You need to have the men that have been there and that have done it before. So you need experience in the back. I don't mind having the whippersnappers in the front because sometimes they try things that
you need the energy and the enthusiasm.
You need energy and pace up front. Midfield, we have some, as I said, we have some very physical midfield players, but we need experience at the back, somebody that can marshal the back line and just talk to the guys and say, hey, listen, let me keep this shape and stuff like that. So I feel that will help a lot.
We actually want to bring the footballers themselves to our Touchline Report studios so we can have a little chat with them about how they saw the Concacaf Nations League campaign. But it's over now. We have been relegated to League C, and now we have to start all over again from the bottom and come right up. So any final words from you, Gibbsy, on this whole campaign and what we must do going forward?
All I want to say is that I'm a pro-Barbadian, and anytime those men don the national colours, although I prefer the blue, those men don the national colours and go out there to represent us, I do feel a sense of pride, and I just wanted to do well. So I just send in some positivity out there. Continue to support the national team, even if they get you upset. Like, we hope that something good could come from this, man.
Indeed. Nice positive words from Gibbsy to end this episode of Touchline Report. Thank you so much, Dwayne.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Great handshake as well. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Touchline Report. And remember to support your Barbados Tridents. We may be down, but we aren't out. See you later.